Mr. President, I rise to tell you the story of one of my constituents named Hannah. When faced with an unplanned pregnancy, Hannah chose life for her baby with the help of a pregnancy center. Despite coming from a long line of single mothers and from a family background plagued with alcoholism, drugs, and dysfunction, Hannah was able to overcome her circumstances and create a better life for herself and her daughter. At 18 years old, Hannah learned she was pregnant. Her child's father drained her savings and spent it on drug abuse. Disgusted, alone, and hopeless just weeks into her pregnancy, Hannah went to her local pregnancy center, Women's Resource Center in Gulfport, Mississippi, where she began to receive weekly parenting classes. In November 2014, Hannah gave birth to a beautiful baby girl named Ava, a name which means life. As a single mother, bringing a child into her circumstances was not easy, and Hannah struggled to overcome severe postpartum depression in the early months after the birth of her daughter. When she turned 21, Hannah got a job at a casino and answered to her prayers. This job gave her a sense of pride and independence. When Ava turned 3, Hannah met Nuno, the love of her life, and together they welcomed another daughter, Maisie. After Hannah and Nuno got married in 2020, Nuno legally adopted Ava before she started kindergarten, stepping in to be the father she had never had before. This year, Hannah felt God's call and now works as a volunteer at the same Women's Resource Center in Gulfport, Mississippi that helped her as a client nearly a decade ago. There, she uses her life experiences to give hope and help to women facing unplanned pregnancies. Hannah writes, "With God, we don't have to be victims of our circumstances. We can be victors who will rise up from anything." Hannah's story is part of the untold story of the pro-life movement that goes on at many other pregnancy centers in Mississippi and across the nation. Last week, the good works conducted by pregnancy centers and maternity homes were recognized by the tens of thousands of pro-life Americans who came to Washington, D.C. last Friday for the 51st annual March for Life. They marched not only for the protection of every unborn child from the moment of conception, but also to support mothers. This year's March for Life theme was "With Every Woman for Every Child," highlighted the fact that no woman should ever feel alone in their pregnancy journey. The life-affirming impact of pregnancy centers is considerable and growing following the Dobbs decision that allowed life-saving laws to take effect in states across America. In addition to having loved ones and communities to lean on, every woman should know of the life-saving work of pregnancy centers and maternity homes across the country. A new Charlotte Lozier Institute study found that 2,750 pregnancy centers provided more than 16 million client sessions and over $358 million in free life-affirming goods and services in 2022. These included free sonograms, pregnancy tests, diapers, parenting classes, pregnancy counseling, adoption referrals, and other compassionate support and resources. Despite what the radical pro-abortion left wants us to believe, the pro-life movement is also a pro-woman movement with a long history of empowering women during pregnancy and after. I believe Congress must build on that history by promoting policies that support pregnancy centers, maternity homes, and strong families so that more pregnant women will have the support they need as they embark on a beautiful and sacred chapter of their lives. Every human life is a priceless gift, but the cost and challenges for new parents are very real. We need to start putting our money where our mouth is. To that end, I, along with Congresswoman Carol Miller of West Virginia in the House, introduced the Pregnancy Center Support Act. This legislation would create a first-ever federal tax credit for pregnancy centers. It would reimburse 50% of up to $10,000 in donations to these centers. This would empower pregnancy centers with much-needed resources to meet the growing demands of supporting women and families in a post-Roe America. My legislation would build on the work of my state of Mississippi. In May 2020, a month before the Dobbs decision, the Mississippi legislature enacted a groundbreaking state tax credit for donations to pregnancy centers. Mississippi currently spends $10 million each year on its credit, and I'm glad to see other states are also considering similar credits to provide life-affirming support to pregnant women in need in their states. At this very moment, when pregnancy centers are needed the most, they have come under unprecedented attacks, including vandalism and firebombing. According to Catholic Vote, there have been over 88 violent attacks on pregnancy centers, and pro-life groups documented since the leak of the Dobbs decision in 2022. Pregnancy centers have also come under attack from pro-abortion politicians, big tech, and state attorneys general, which have sought to fine, censor, or regulate them out of existence. In particular, I am deeply concerned by the Biden administration's recently proposed rules targeting pregnancy centers, aiming to strip away millions of dollars through the Temporary Assistance to Needy Families, or TANF program, that now supports these centers in several states. We must fight back against this. Alongside Congressman Chris Smith of New Jersey, I have introduced the Let Pregnancy Centers Serve Act. This bill would block the administration's proposed action and protect pregnancy centers that are serving countless women from discrimination. The Democrats' attacks on pregnancy centers are disgraceful, and we must do more to support this life-saving work. The pro-life movement believes that every life counts, every mother, every father, and every child, and that's why we strive for an end to abortion. We must also support families and come alongside pregnant women in need. To all the Americans who marched for life last week, and to women like Hannah, who choose life and now works at a pregnancy center to help others choose life, thank you for standing with every woman and for every child. I yield the floor.